What do you know about yourself? Hello and welcome. So here is what we are going to discuss in this video. First we start with understanding what is Spring AI, then we discuss about some features of the Spring AI, then we have a quick look around the different modules in the Spring AI. Next we will discuss what we are going to build, and finally we will build the application. So let's start with what is Spring AI. Spring AI is an application framework for AI engineering. Its goal is to enable the Spring ecosystem with AI capability using popular AI providers. Effectively, by using a Spring AI, you could add the AI functionalities or features such as chat, image generation, etc. in your backend application. Goal is just to bring in the API key of whichever AI provider you wish to make use of and benefit from the Spring ecosystem design principles such as portability, modular design, and promote using POJOs as the main building block of an application. The Spring AI project aims to streamline the development of applications which incorporate artificial intelligence functionality without unnecessary complexity. The project draws inspiration from well-known Python projects such as LangChain, Llama Index, but Spring AI is not a mindless replica of these two. Rather, the project was founded with the belief that the next wave of GenAI applications will not only be for Python developers but will also be available across many other programming languages as well. At its core, Spring AI provides abstractions which serve as the foundation for developing AI applications. These abstractions have multiple implementations. It enables easy component swapping with minimal code changes. So let's say today you are using the OpenAI model and you wish to switch to Gemini in future with the use of a Spring AI. It should involve minimal code changes. Now let's have a quick look on the Spring AI features. First thing is, it supports all major model providers such as OpenAI, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Hugging Face. Next on the list is that supported model types are chat and text to image generation. As of now, we can surely expect more on the way in coming days. Spring AI supports portable APIs across AI providers for chat and for embedding models. Both synchronous and stream API options are supported. It is also possible to tweak a model-specific feature. Another thing about the Spring AI is it supports mapping of AI model output to POJOs. And another good part about Spring AI is it supports all major vector database providers. It also supports function calling, and of course, since we are using Spring, then Spring Boot auto configuration and starters for AI models and vector stores are available. On top of all of these features, there is also an ETL framework for data engineering. Now let's have a quick look around the different modules in the Spring AI. So the first one on the list is chat completion API. Next is embeddings API. The third one is image generation API. The fourth one is transcription API. After that we have vector database, which is followed by function calling. Next on the list is prompts. Then we have output parsers, and last but not the least is the support of ETL pipeline. Let's discuss two important AI concepts which make sense to be understood in the context of this tutorial. Please note that in the upcoming videos we will be touching upon more AI concepts which will be relevant to those videos using the Spring AI. So the first one is the models. AI models are algorithms designed to process and generate information, often mimicking human cognitive functions. By learning patterns and insights from large data sets, these models can make predictions, text, images, or other outputs. There are different types of AI models, each suited for a specific use case. While ChatGPT and its generative AI capabilities have created many headlines, there are many other models which are equally good at doing niche things such as text to image generation, text to audio generation, text to video generation, and etc. What sets model like GPT apart from the other models? Well, it is pre-trained in nature, as indicated by P in the GPT, which stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. This pre-training transforms AI into a general developer tool that does not require an extensive machine learning or model training background. So to sum it up, models are something which are kind of pre-built for you in a generic sense, and all you have to do as an application developer is get hold of the concerned API keys and start making your application. Second thing that we discuss in the AI concept is tokens. Tokens serve as the building block of how an AI model works. On input, models convert words to tokens. On output, they convert tokens back to words. In English, one token token roughly corresponds to 75% of a word. For reference, Shakespeare's complete works, which is around 900k words, translates to approximately 1.2 million tokens. In the context of hosted AI model, your charges are determined by the number of tokens used. Both input and output contribute to the overall token count. For example, when you use OpenAI keys, then your charges will depend on how many tokens you use. It would be fair to say that tokens are currency of hosted AI models. Also, models are subject to token limits, which restrict the amount of text processed in a single API call. This threshold is often referred to as the context window. The model does not process any text that exceeds this limit. It is important to note that we need to devise software engineering strategies to chop up the data and present the data within the model's context window limits. And no award goes for guessing. The Spring AI project does help you with this task. Now it's time to discuss what exactly we are going to build in this tutorial. Let's set some small context for the application we are going to build in this video tutorial. We will first start by creating a Spring Boot application with the necessary dependencies. Then we create API key. Next, we use that key in our application and write a controller which could make use of the chat client and make calls to the hosted model, which would be OpenAI in this case. We will try to play around with what we have created and then conclude the video. I hope you are excited to build your first AI application using Spring AI. So let's get started without delaying any further. Alright, so first we go to start.spring.io and on Spring Initializer we create a normal Spring Boot project. So we have selected Maven, then we have Java, then we have selected this particular version and fill the other relevant details. As the dependency we have just added Spring Web, everything else we will be adding it later on. So for now what I have done is I have already generated the project, downloaded it and I have imported in my IntelliJ IDEA. So here is my project. Now that we have the project imported in our IDE, we will go to the pom.xml and place the necessary dependencies. So the first dependency that we need is that for the OpenAI and here is the dependency for that. So let's copy this from here and put it here. Next on the list is that we should have this particular entry in the repository section in the pom.xml. So let's do that as well. And now reload the POM file. So now you should see that everything has resolved and there is no error as such. In order for this application to work, we will have to connect this to the OpenAI hosted model as we discussed earlier. In order for this connection to happen, we will have to create an API key and use that API key in our application. So now we will learn how we can create the API key. So let's go to browser and open this particular URL, platform.openai.com. So this is how this page will look like if you are already logged in to your OpenAI account. If not, we'll suggest to create an account with OpenAI and log in accordingly. After you are logged in, let's go to this particular section where you see the API keys. And this is how it looks for me. In my case, I have already created the API key. In your case, if the API key is not there, you will have to create a new key. Please note that if your account is not new, then in that case, your uses might have expired. In which case, all you will see is that 0 is available and entire thing will show as expired, as in it will show 0 out of 0. What it means is you won't be able to make any call to the OpenAI and you will have to recharge your account. $5 is the minimum amount with which you can recharge, and once you are done recharging, then you can create the API key and then make use of the same. Otherwise, what will happen is you will get 429 error that your account has been rate limited. So now with all this thing in place, we will have to copy this API key and place it in our application.properties. Let's copy this one. Done. Let me delete the old entry and then I will come to IntelliJ, go to application.property. Now in order to put your API key, this is the key, which is spring.ai.openai.api-key. Then paste your API key that you have just created. After we are done with pasting the API key, next thing on the list is to write the controller. So first we will create a package, call it as controller, and inside the controller package we will create a controller, maybe call it as basic chat controller. Let's annotate this with REST controller. This dependency provides us with a class called as OpenAI chat client. So we will be using the same OpenAI chat client in our application. So we will have to provide a dependency for the same. So let's first provide the chat client, and then we will auto wire using the constructor auto wiring. Next thing is we will create a get mapping endpoint, maybe call it as AI then chat, and then we will have a public map chat. It will take a request param, value could be message, there could be a default value, maybe tell me a random fact followed by string message. Now what we do is return map.off, and the key is generated by AI, and the value is chat client dot call pass the message. Now let's run this application and test out in Postman. So in order to run the application, we go to AI application, hit on run, and we see that application has been started. So it's time to go to the Postman. Here in Postman, let's give the URL, and since the default value was tell me a random fact, I would be expecting that some random fact would be generated by the AI and it will be given back to me. We have a response generated by AI, and the response is the average person will spend 6 months of their lifetime waiting for red lights to turn green. Alright, seems like AI knows that I stay in Bangalore. Cool. Now let's try with some other message. So our request parameter was message. Maybe have a message as what do you know about yourself. Response is, as an AI, I do not possess self-awareness or consciousness. I am a computer program designed to provide information and assistance to users. Let's say fair enough. Cool. Seems like it's working as expected. Now let's try to ask some more questions, and the question could be, do you know what's the context being discussed? There is some weird response. What it says is, I am sorry, but I do not have access to the context being discussed. If you provide me with more information, I may be able to help you understand it better. Are you not like ChatGPT, which maintains some context of what's being discussed? The response is, I am designed to maintain context within a single conversation session, but I do not have the ability to remember previous conversation or interaction like a chatbot. My responses are based on the current conversation and do not carry information over from the past interaction. So, what's being discussed in current conversation? We are discussing the topic of conversation itself. Alright, so looks like we are not able to maintain the context of what is being discussed like we have in the case of using the ChatGPT. But that's alright, we have created a very primitive chatbot where we are able to connect to our OpenAI hosted system via this particular API key. And then we have created a controller where we are making use of OpenAI chat client, and using that chat client we are making call to the OpenAI model, right? So in that sense, it's working as expected. Now the next step would be to retain some sort of context of what is being discussed, and there are a couple of ways in which we could enrich this functionality, right? So as you see, the entire field is quite interesting, and exciting. So that shall be it for this video. I hope you did learn a thing or two from this. Thanks for sticking with me till last. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. I hope this video added some value. If so, please hit that like button and share with your friends. Your honest feedback in the comments is valuable to me. I regularly post informative videos for software engineering and computer science. Don't forget to hit the bell for instant updates. Take care and stay awesome.